Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Greg Jones for Engine Builder. Today, we're in Rural Retreat, Virginia, visiting New Performance Automotive. I'm joined by Steve Burton and Mike Peabody. And between us here is a 2.6 smoothbore mechanical 5.9 Cummins, and it's our Diesel of the Week.
Engine Builder's Diesel of the Week is sponsored by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics.
All right, Steve, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah, good to see you, Mike. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's awesome to be down here in Virginia visiting you guys, and saw that you guys had this on the dyno here, and had to do a Diesel of the Week on it. And I understand, Mike, this is actually your 5.9 Cummins.
Yeah, it's actually one of my motors. So I have two motors. My other one's actually in the truck at home. It's a 6.4, and this is a 5.9.
Okay.
6.7 block, 5.9 sleeve with a 5.9 crank.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I can't help but notice the first thing here is the common rail killer. You got the mechanical setup.
Yep.
So talk a little bit about the build. Why is it back in the shop? What did you guys have to do to it?
Actually, nothing. It's got about 12 passes on it, about 7-8 dyno passes from last year. Steve's got some stuff he wants to test. We put a 6.4 together this year and put it in my truck with a few different things that he had come up with to try. He's got some, like I said, he's got a few things he wants to test. He's actually teamed up with DDP Lenny Reed with testing some injectors for him. We got a couple sets of injectors we're going to try, and then we got a turbo from Position 1 he wants to try, so that's why this is back down here.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, and the joke of the common rail killer comes from obviously the electronic guys,
Right.
Just a little dig at them, and we decided this is a dry motor, so we covered the water pump hole with this little cover here and just engraved kind of like a little joke about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it can live up to its name. It has in the past.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can go to some of the big events this year and do the same thing. But
Very cool.
As Mike was saying, this is still a 6.7 block, and instead of sleeving it to a 6.4, which is traditionally what we do, we went ahead and sleeved this one back to a 5.9.
Yeah.
And the reason we did that is we were kind of in a pinch to build this motor to get back on the track. So by doing that, we could use 5.9 cast pistons, and we had a 5.9 crank. So it's really just a real thick cylinder wall 5.9, which is really, really stout and can take a lot of abuse and heat.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. So obviously you guys had to do some machine work there to get it to that point. But walk us through some of the components that you chose to put in this, Mike.
It's got actually stock Cummins cast pistons in it.
Okay.
It's got a set of boost line rods, billet rods in it. It's got a Hamilton cam, tappets and springs. Right now it's got a set of Lenny's injectors in it we're going to test. It's got a Northeast 13 millimeter V2 ag pump on it. Kevin from Northeast, we've been dealing with him for quite a few years. I ran work stock diesel for several years, and I actually had bought a 13 millimeter auto governor pump to run on my work stock truck. Good pump too. I mean, I was a mechanical motor in a common rail world and work stock, and it's hard to compete in work stock with a mechanical motor.
Yeah.
And I actually did very well in work stock with a mechanical motor that we had built. And then I met Steve in 2019, I think it was, at a pole actually in Southern Ohio. Talked to him a little bit, and then we met again at Shy Diesel that summer and started talking to him, and he built my first motor for me. I have a truck. It's called Struck by Lightning. It's well known. I know a lot of guys all over the United States actually. Become friends with tons of people.
Yeah.
We ran 2.6 with a short chassis the first year. Second year, we put another motor together. I stretched the chassis. We actually dynoed with a 2.6 Charger actually from Nick Stom, and then we ended up bolting an Apex on it and picked up at 58 horsepower.
Oh, nice.
So I ran Apex from Michigan. I ran their turbo for that whole season, and I actually won a points series that season
nice.
with Central Ohio Truck Pros Association. truck ran really good. That was in 22. Last year we come out and the motor, you guys did the mild to wild with him. So we had a mild build and it ate a cam gear, like the second or third hook out. Brought it to him. He got it back together, and we ended up actually we split a block on a dyno, and that was a block we split. It was fatigued.
Geez. Yeah.
So and then he put this motor together, and we come out and we did really well again. Mid-season, end of last year with this motor.
Yeah.
And then he had some stuff he wanted to do over the winter, and we put another motor together, and it's a 6.4.
Very good. Very good.
So, but like I said, this motor's down here he wanted to do some testing.
We wanted to test some new components. We have a new drive system here we want to try out, and we got a new oil filtration system we want to try on it. And as Mike was saying, we got some different turbos and different injectors. Just always kind of looking for a little bit more horsepower, just like everybody else. And
absolutely,
a little bit of an unusual build for us with it being a 5.9. But we kind of did it because we were in a pinch for time, and it ended up being a real good piece. It's done really well.
That's awesome. Guys, what's kind of the performance on this in terms of horsepower and torque?
It makes right around, actually a little over 1,200.
Okay.
And it makes almost 2,300 foot-pounds of torque.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So,
very good. Very good. Mike, Steve, anything else about this particular Cummins that we're leaving out?
No, this is a. I would say this is kind of leaning toward a mild budget engine, really, because we've used stock pistons in it. It's 5.9. The only wild part of this engine is it's sleeved, and that as you were saying, it takes a lot of machine work to get those sleeves and get all that ready. So this is kind of a cross in between the mild and wild, more of a mild deal, and it's a real stout performer because of the thickness of the cylinder walls. And the only thing you got to watch is still got cast pistons in it.
Yeah.
But with the right clearance and with the right tuning and everything, you can do okay with them.
Very cool. And Mike, you were talking about having the 6.4 as well. So how do they kind of compare and contrast?
they're pretty comparable.
Yeah.
The 6.4 probably makes a little more torque.
Okay.
It's the thing is the 5.9 and a 6.4, and I was telling Steve this year, just from running the 5.9 and 6.4, the tone of the motor is totally different. Like they sound totally different.
Yeah.
They'll run different RPMs too down the track.
Mm-hmm.
So I've noticed, running 5.9s, they'll actually run a little more RPM than a 6.4 down the track. But
interesting.
Mid-track wise, a 6.4 will run about the same as 5.9, if not more.
Yeah, these are small bore, short stroke versus big bore, long stroke. So you definitely get an audible difference out of the engines.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Mike, we appreciate you telling us about it. Steve, pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you for coming by.
Guys, that's been this episode of Diesel of the Week. Make sure you guys are checking out everything that Steve and Mike are doing here at New Performance Automotive. And as always, make sure you're checking out EngineBuilderMag.com for more great engine and diesel content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.